Right, welcome to the lesson for exercise 1, essential elements for the keyboard side for percussionists, bell set, mallets, whatever you want to call the thing you're playing. This is a wooden xylophone. You probably have a metal xylophone or a bell set glockenspiel. Again, doesn't matter. This is what you got. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you have your setup pretty similar to mine. This xylophone does not raise up, but it is too low for me, and there's nothing I can do about it. You should be able to adjust yours to where it's quite a bit higher. We're looking under your belly button, somewhere where it's a comfortable range. You're not sitting too low to the ground. Secondly, you want your music stand in front of you, and you'll notice I have it open to page 3 here. Again, this is on the keyboard side of your book, which is found starting halfway through your book. This is the front cover. Then there's a middle cover in there, and then you have your keyboard side. This picture right here is really important in the beginning. It takes every single note and shows what it looks like on the staff compared to what it looks on your keyboard. So on your bells, whatever, find your first note, which is number 1, is F, and it points to this guy right here. This translates down to, on our keyboard, this guy right here. It's what we call our high F. I memorize it by seeing a group of 3 on top, and then it's 1 below. Okay, that should match the pitch. Now I'm playing a xylophone, so it's going to sound different than your bell set. Yours is going to ring, and it's going to sound more metallic-y, but that is where your first note is on the xylophone. Moving on to actually reading number 1. All right, this is number 1 in your book, now that you've got yourself all set up. Now we know where our F is because we looked on page number 3, and it shows that image of our pitched percussion instrument and shows us that an F, our high F, particularly the one, or specifically the one that is labeled in or shown at the top of the treble clef in number 1, is this F right here. Now sometimes bell sets are labeled, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're labeled in the most convenient way, sometimes they're not. So my suggestion, actually eventually my requirement, is that you just memorize where all the notes are. It will take some time. Be patient with yourself, but through practice you'll learn it. So your first note is F. It says underneath the title of the piece, which is the first note, it says play a legato stroke for each note. And what they mean by a legato stroke, partially what they mean, is a stroke that has a rebound that comes off of the bar. So instead of, this is the wrong way, where your head of the stick just stays right on the bar. You don't want to do that. That's not that's not really a good stroke in almost any situation. You want a legato stroke, it will bounce off. You'll notice my mallet comes up after I hit it. Okay, so number 1 will sound like this. Ready, 3. Okay, yours might sound different than mine because you're going to have the bell set, then you rest for a minute. Again, ready, 3. Now you'll notice I'm coming at the bell set all weird, right? My left hand's over here, I'm over here. That's because I have a music stand, webcam taped to a music stand, and I can't quite stand in the right spot. Of course, you're going to have great hand position, and your mallets are going to be at a 90-degree angle, just like your snare sticks would be, and you would be centered right over your F for that legato stroke. But in this situation, I'm unable to do that. So make sure, that should be number 1. I think you should be good with that. Make sure you memorize where that is. And you're solid with number 1.